Thank you, Mr. Ajay Mehta. I would request Mr. R.R. Mehta, and he is now the CEO of Mumbai Distribution Company, and he has experienced parallel licensee and the problems that they are facing. So I'm sure that he will be able to throw light on this new approach.
It's always difficult to be the speaker after Ajay Mehta speaks. What I would like to mention is that we have talked about yesterday about accountability. We have talked about citizen being converted into consumer. And of course, in the changing environment where the consumer who could be denied electricity is a demanding consumer that I want electricity. Now, under those circumstances, with whatever has been stated, that we are in the midst of confusion, in the midst of no solution, what is it? There are no timelines. There are no timelines of accountability. So what I would want to go through is just a slide in quick succession and just talk about one or two bullets on each. This is just what we are in Mumbai. We are serving one of the reliable, one of the low losses areas, so I won't delve too much on it. This presentation would be available if anybody wants to have it. It will be more than. This isn't what value-added consumer services we are providing. I'll again not go too much into it. This is how we engage ourselves with the consumer on various platforms. This is what our technology uses in our managing the system. I'm skipping the contents. This is what we have done to bring down the losses, do technical intervention so that the access to the network is avoided. The one on the left-hand side is what is being this time given award based on last year's best technological development award. This is again how we integrate our systems, various independent systems. This is on smart grid, where we are, the green dot show where we are, the diamond dot show where the world is. This is what our future of smart grid is, as to how we want to implement it and how we want to go forward in it. Now I come to the main issue. As Mr. Mehta correctly said, there's no cash. Where does the cash come from? It is from the consumer through the distribution into the entire value chain. Now, what are the reasons why the cash is not coming are listed here. I'm not going to delve again into this. There's an issue of network, there's an issue of tariff, there's an issue of various losses. So how are we going to control it? Who is going to be accountable for it? Is it the distribution company? Is it the consumer? Is it the regulator? Is it the government? Is it the infrastructure like judiciary, police, who can, when something is lodged, do they understand what the consequence of theft is? Many places, the special courts, although provided in the law, are not there. Special police stations are supposed to be there, they're not there. So it goes as a normal process of law, and it gets added to the volume of pending cases. And the person is out on bail, he's back into his normal business of supplying electricity in an unauthorized manner. Now, Mr. Mehta mentioned about that, there's a birth and rebirth, and that's exactly what is happening. There's an accumulation of losses, the government clears it, again there's an accumulation of losses, the government clears it, the cycle is continuing with no correction happening to it. And that's why I said the accountability, who is defining the accountability, and what is the timeline of that accountability is nowhere defined. Now, this reflects how the cost and the tariff variations are there, which results into the kind of accumulation of losses which we have seen in the previous slide as well. So this reflects inadequate tariff, results into accumulation, results into burden of interest, results into non-payment to various stakeholders, be it generator, be it somebody else. This is how the state discoms debts have gone up. It's gone up by almost it's doubled in 4 years. And that's again because of, not getting the tariffs, not getting the cash flows. So it's a situation what it is. This is cluster. Yep. No, these are the ones which are in the process, but they become a debt. In one way or the other, these are the various forms of the debts. No, they're servicing. Some are new. Old debts have been converted into new. Old outstanding have been converted into new. So there was an evolving process of transferring the timelines. Agencies and timelines, yes. With participation in some cases and compulsion of the state government to participate. In some cases, the banks are transforming. In some cases, the interest rebates are being given. So all kinds of mix and matches are being worked on. But if you don't get the tariff right, then all these will again slowly and gradually fall flat. FRP is a means. FRP is a means of financing. So it will come into the tariff because the liability has to be met. The consumers. No, government has not taken over any liability. There is only a provision of 25% as a subsidy in case they meet the requirements of recovering the rest of the money. But the rest of the money has to come from the consumer. It is. They can't start. Who would bear the brunt of that? Okay. So this is just a reflection of, the division of various states into various categorization of risk. This is what MOP study is as to where do the various discoms lie into their risk and their ability to collect the money and, the health structure of these discoms. Now, these are all the stakeholders. I'm sorry, this is where, if you see the discom is right in the center and everybody is around it, and discom is the source of revenue generation for all these people. If there's a failure here, you're bound to have a consequential effect on the rest of the segments which are associated with it. Now, this is what is predicted in case the corrective actions are not taken as to where we would be in FY22. You see, we talked about accountability. There have been multiple committees which have suggested the ways and means to correct this situation. There have been directions from appellate tribunal, but they have not been implemented for various reasons, and I don't think I would want to get into the reasons because they would be socio-economic, political, everything is in it. So this was one of the committees. Another committee, appellate's directives. Another committee. Now, this is all what has happened, understanding that there's a problem in discoms, but no timelines, no committed implementation of the findings, and that's where we are where we are. These are the 5 elements which are required to be addressed in case we want to move forward. Again, I say accountability, implementation is again an open issue. So it's, again, summary of the previous slide only. We need pricing reforms, efficiency in operation, yes. Regulatory reforms, infusion of private players. It's a questionable thing. Mr. Mehta is not too much towards it. And then obviously administrative support, like I said, judiciary, police, so that the curtailment of theft can be undertaken pretty efficiently. Well, that's about it. I won't go into career content separation, although there are slides behind it, but since it has already been spoken by Mr. Gupta, I would leave it with it. And the slides would be available in case anything is there. Please feel free to contact me.
What is your experience in Mumbai? You already have a kind of that.
No, I'm not against. provided it is done in an effective manner and in a logical manner. Unfortunately, that logical manner is decided after the effectivity being done, and which is what causes the entire problem. So you mentioned about parallel licensing in Bombay. The experience has not been that good for the simple reason that there was no level playing field ever available, and nor is it being created so that they become competitive in each player becomes a competitive, and that's why there's a constant fight, there's a constant litigation, there's a constant reference to the regulator. So I would say it's not been a very healthy status. We are fighting, we are moving forward, but it can't be called a healthy environment. Thank you.